Support our own Gambian foundation. Support our own Gambian foundation. This is the first of its kind. Support our own Gambian foundation is standing on 4 important philosophies. That is to empower, to motivate, to inspire, and of course, to uplift the younger generation of the Gambian society. We are delving deeper into social norms, cultural heritage, and of course, problems affecting our cultures, norms and values. I am going to be your host on the Influencers Program. The Influencers Program will bring you young influential people in this country that are eloquent, have experience, and have been inspiring the younger generation. If you have been wondering a platform where you can utilize your talent, if you have been wondering a place where your voice can be heard, Support our own Gambian Foundation has come to utilize our cultures in the right track. They are the rediscovery of the cultural norms, values, and customs. Please join me every Tuesday on SOOGF Online TV. Support our
Greetings, wonderful viewers, and welcome back to another beautiful episode of the Influencers Program. And of course, I am your host Abdou Komma, and this program is brought to you by SOOGF Online TV. Support our own Gambian Foundation, the home of hope and optimism. And of course, with me here today is a beautiful HADDIJATOU JOBE, a writer and of course a charter activist. It's a pleasure having the youngest Gambian writer, of course. For the first time we have. At what age? Before asking that, I will allow HADDIJATOU to, of course, tell us something about who is this prestigious charter activist, and of course, this prolific writer who write at a very younger age, so inspiring. Please tell the wonderful viewers, who is this inspiring the youngest Gambian writer, and of course, a charter activist.
All right, thank you so much for giving me the platform. Assalamu alaikum, everybody. I'm HADDIJATOU JOBE, actually one of the youngest Gambian writers. I will not say the youngest.
Of course.
Then I was given the name actually because I'm part of the youngest people to publish a book, and I did mine at age 14. So this actually boasts of my name. So that is how it happened. But then I am a student. I can say final year student in Nusrat High School. I'm also into activism because I'm so much into child rights advocating, and yeah, I like fighting for the rights of children. Despite the fact that I am now 18, I am still into it, yeah.
Amazing. Oh, this is so inspiring. Jibera kendo beda ra banko nga fane ko ntelong SOGF Online TV. And be modeling Gambia la, of course, the youngest one of Saverla me dindu me alonko. Kata Saverla fanala atolon dindu ti Gambia ko me alonko. He writes. So he writes at a very younger age. So amazing. HADDIJATOU JOBE. You said you do activism. You write. You write at a very younger age. This is why you're given the title, the youngest author. Very, very inspiring. How do you start this journey? As a writer, and of course, as an activist, please.
All right, so I can say I used this opportunity of the COVID break. Then I was in grade 7. So I was like, okay, this is a lockdown period. I didn't even know how it comes to my mind. I was like, okay, I can engage myself on something that is actually going to be inspiring. So I was like, let me come up with a writing journey. I wanted to do this ever since I was younger, but then I was not with the support and the encouragement. So because I had almost 8 to 10 months break during the lockdown, then I started this when I was in grade 7. That was first time, that was 2019. So during the time the lockdown came across, that was 2020, I had that space to do this work. So I can say that that was the reason why I was able to complete the book within 10 months.
Wow.
Because yeah, the break was fine. I was not going to school. I just had space at home doing everything I want. So writing is actually a hobby. So I was like, okay, maybe I can create something that is actually going to benefit the society. And I see that this is how the society is going. Why not I write something about it? So it was just a small piece because I was at first advised not to make things bulky because Gambians normally they don't read. And I was very young. People might not find it interesting to read what I have. So maybe it can just be a short piece.
At what age? At what age?
Then I was 13, but I launched it when I was 14. That was the time everything was finalized, and it was after the COVID. Because to bring people together for a launching program, you can't do that on a lockdown, like this quarantine and stuff like that. So I was able to launch the book after the lockdown. Then I published it, and it is on the verge of marketing.
It's inspiring. At the age of 13, writing is not an easy zone that we all understand.
Yeah.
Okay, you will take us through. This is a very beautiful summary of your journey. You start the journey when people are on a lockdown. I would say when the schools are closed. Amazingly down. So please, tell us something about this book. What was the first book that you published? What is the title?
All right, the first book I published is entitled The Successful Dreams.
Okay. Can you tell us something about that book, please?
Actually, I'm very glad. Like, whenever people ask me to talk about this book, I'm always very eager.
Amazing.
All right, so The Successful Dreams is about determinations towards achieving one's goals. Because, like, the center of the program or the center of the theme of the book, everything has to do with poverty.
Hawaii.
So this has to do with someone going to school and from a weak background. Then the background wasn't able to support his education, but actually showing people that, you know, your background should not push you back down. You still can make it without that strong background when it comes to the career. And then I've seen that a lot of people in our society are not really making it simply because they want to lean back that their background isn't a strong one. So they give up on things just like that. They give up on their educations. So I write a book and I use a character to demonstrate how people can actually make it with or without being rich or coming from a strong background. So this actually has to do with someone with disabled parents who actually depend on begging to grow their family. So there was this one guy from that family who was like ready to go through all hurdles to become successful, despite the fact that he was so smart at school, and then there were these enemies who decided to cast a spell on him, just so that he didn't get to success. But then he never gave up, just to make sure his parents become proud of him after all. Then people can actually read from that book and become inspired.
This is it's just very, very inspiring. Okay, you talk about the journey to success. That is your first book.
Yeah.
If I understand what you said, is that like it's talking about how people can pursue their dreams, how they can, of course, defeat challenges and hurdles, so they can become productive people in their endeavors. Amazing. You see, my problem is, or my concern is, as a writer, you focus more on problems and, of course, on solutions, right? Good. The journey to success, you say, that was the title of your first book, at the age of 13, right? So please, of course, the moral lesson of the book, like you just analyzed, is for people to be strong. To be strong. And to be firm in their dreams. That, like, of course, success.
Not to easily give up.
Yes. Success comes with too much hurdles.
Definitely.
Impatience and, and that kind of, distractions. Our problems that leads to what? Delays of success and all that. So please, that's amazing. Me, and like I told you, when I grow up, I want to be like her. See writes at a very younger age, in which, many, I don't say in the world, in fact, when you just see most of the writers we know write at a very late age.
Yeah, definitely.
So this, to me, is just wisdom, and it's a gift from God, and we must thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for that. So please, what is you said you published 2 books?
Yeah, for now.
For now. And can you talk about the second book?
Yeah, the second book is entitled The Broken Home.
Okay.
And then it has to do with the society. Again. Yeah, because I'm young and I live in the society. I've seen how things are going on. This is why, like, most of the time when people ask me, I'm like, this is inspired by my friend. Like, I get to see how my friend is because she's living that kind of situation. So I was like, maybe I can come and not only teach my fellow students, but also parents, because it has to do with separation of families. And especially like single parent family, how children feel when they're normal with their mom, how children feel when they're, isolated from their families. because it has a lot of things to deal with girls. Not only, but this one has to specifically deals with the girls, because we face a lot of traumas when we're normal living with our parents. At least sometimes boys can manage it.
Boys can manage it, you know.
Sometimes,
what do you mean by that?
girls.
So meaning boys are more strong.
Because I know for my part.
Okay.
You know, I'm writing and then I know my part. I know how it feels without my mom.
Okay. Okay.
So, and how it can be without her.
Okay.
So it has to do with divorce.
Divorce, okay.
Yeah, and then how this young girl becomes traumatized when her mom is not around, and how she left school simply because of that type of trauma. Mm-hmm. And then it also has to deal, tell the parents why they should not just give up, because their families are back there waiting. There are a lot of people, like a lot of parents, are contributing towards the distractions of their children. They don't even know. Maybe they're like, yeah, they're taking the decision and it is the best. But then getting to read that book, it has to tell you a lot about societal pressure. It has a lot to deal with child molestation. And then I can say that it is one of the reasons why I joined activism. Activism. It is one of the reasons why I get to...
That is the power of writing. That is the power of writing.
I was like, yeah, after writing the book, a lot of people read it. And they were so inspired, like, yeah, HADDIJATOU, you can do it.
Of course.
And I was like, okay, let me give activism a try. And then, like, I am on it, yeah, and it is working.
Like I told you, when I grow up, I want to be like you. This, of course, you said the title of the book again?
Broken Homes.
The Broken Homes. Yeah. Like, the title even speaks for itself.
Yeah.
You talk about a very important point: divorced, child molestation, problems children face in schools, lack of proper parental care and all that. So, like, this is the beauty of writing. Like you said, this journey leads you to the activism, in which there is a separate topic that we also get to delve into. Of course, activism, advocacy and writing are all in different perspectives. So I think we have to delve into them profoundly. So you said divorced, broken homes, like, that kind of child molestation. You are very info is child marriage, because like that is the whole purpose. Sometimes why our homes become broken is because of this child marriage, devastation, distractions, and all that. This kind of fights and all that. So are you really? You said child right activist. That is your area. Are you advocating for that arena that children must not go to early marriage?
Yeah, I'm also into that. But when it comes to the book, we actually talk about the book because the book has a lot to do with gender-based violence, boy-child preference, child molestation. There was no center that has to do with child marriage. But when it comes to the breadth of advocating, everything that has to affect the child is included.
What is your center point of
when it comes to
activism? What are you looking at?
I'm looking for the interest of the child. Anything that has
discrimination,
racism, violence, everything, child marriage, FGM, everything.
So you're against FGM?
We do everything. We're against everything that has to affect the child.
That is a topic of itself. Amazing. This is so, it's getting interesting. You said you were talking about, like, it's beautiful to see young people standing for their own. Like, you are young. You want to stand for people that are voiceless, because you have a platform right now. People know you're the youngest Gambian author, and now you delve into the activism stuff, which is a plus. Now, you have people in society, in homes. They would love to be in a platform. They want to be in a stage where you are, but they don't have the platform. Like me, my belief is, it's not like you were the best. It's because we are privileged. Sometimes we have very good people, potential people,
definitely,
but they cannot get to where you are because they don't have the platform. So there are young people in society that are humiliated. Now we didn't differ into the activism stuff.
All right.
Okay. People are in society that have been humiliated, girls, they go to school. Like, looking at research, they said, like, most of the people that are dropouts are girl child. So your standpoint is to fight against those ills in society. But do you have to say to those kind of claims? So girls go to school, like, man, this should like be equal parity. Should there be this culture of parity? They said equal, 50%, 50%. Because you see, it's a different thing.
Yeah, that one is.
What is your take on that?
Actually, going back. So first, before getting to that answer, I would like to, get to this main point.
Very, very okay. Feel free.
Because personally, I joined Voice of the Young.
Voice of the Young.
Yeah, that is when I started all this thing. So actually joining Voice of the Young was not only there to learn, I was also exposed to the society. Like I was also exposed to the trauma, to the problems we face, and like the question, how do I think these things can be solved? So Voice of the Young actually is a platform. It's an association. It's everything that like is going in for the children's right. It's going in for the children's favor, provided that it is on the right track. So in this kind of situations, I think everybody is aware now that girls are the ones prone to this. They are the ones vulnerable, like we are the ones vulnerable, because I've been saying. So the best thing to do right now, the best ways we do our advocate stuff to end this thing is to engage ourselves on media advocating programs.
Yeah.
We also get into sensitization. We also organize a lot of things to make sure that girls are aware, because at the end of the day, we're the ones being affected. And as you said, a lot of people want
boys
to
are
speak
affected.
out. Like, they are. Boys are included.
Yeah.
Like,
my family with HADDIJATOU is whenever he's talking.
no, it's not like I'm so sorry. Like, I'm just used to it.
Okay.
Yes, I'm just used to it. So in this case, like, we make sure that everybody is aware that these are the things happening in the society. And as you said, we have the privilege. Like, it's not that we're the best. We have the privilege. So, like, we have a lot of platforms now. Due to this advocacy that we're doing, we have a lot of platforms now that are actually
embarking on to
enlighten the people and to give people the chance to actually come up and speak on their, like, use their own voices and speak. Yeah, these are the things they're facing. That's why most of the times we invite a lot of people. Like, we have seminars, we invite a lot of girls. And when they come, they speak. And I can say also, because I joined the writing field, I wanted to speak on behalf of a lot of people. Like the broken homes, a lot of people are facing it. But then, do they know anybody to speak?
They do not. This is beautiful.
Exactly. So becoming a writer also has to do with you speaking on behalf of a lot of people.
That is a purpose.
That do not have the opportunity.
That is a purpose.
To speak when they are in public. That they are not seen, they are not heard. So a lot of people read the book and were like, okay, HADDIJATOU, I felt myself in this. And that was something to be proud of. I cannot call myself someone who's advocating or someone into activism when I'm not speaking for people.
Yeah, because writing should be actionable.
Exactly.
You turn your book active, to really advocate for the rest of those people who cannot even read your book. You know your society, you know Gambia, because the thing is, a lot of people are not good in literature, reading, you say. So the best way you could have complete your mission, you have just embarked on that. That is now to put that
to come and meet people,
tell them what is good and what is bad.
You know yourself, like bring yourself down to the people, talk to them. What do you want? What do you think can be done? And then we'll fight this. And I can say Voice of the Young is actually standing at that position, doing everything.
Are they still existing?
Yeah, I'm 18 now, because you must be underage to be part of Voice. So I spent my 2 terms now, I'm a graduating member. So I'm into something else now, maybe join another platform that has to do with advocacy or have my own.
Do you plan to, of course, have your own association where you also will empower these young people? Like the way Voice of Young have they have impacted you, and you also realize that. Are you have that intention to build such a foundation to impact lives, going to rural Gambia, telling young people about their rights, because people are, like you said, awareness is now, people are becoming aware, but there's still there's still inadequate awareness. So I think you have a role to play as an activist.
Exactly. It has been part of my dreams. It has been part of my plans to come up with something like that. And I'm still working on it. As I said, I am a high school student, and I think I have a lot of opportunities already, because once I graduate, I am ready to work on everything. Because it's something that is collective.
Okay.
We come together and do it.
Okay.
We have a lot of people doing it. Like, if you know that you have the opportunity and the capabilities to come up with it, you're just going to lessen the work. Because the more people come into activism, the lesser these things we're fighting for will happen. So we'll all come together once we're ready. And then, it's a plan. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to help us succeed.
And you are a science student. Are you a science student?
Yeah, so it actually implicates things, because people will be like, you're supposed to do art. But I think everybody is aware of what is happening, be it a science student or a commerce student.
But it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
Are you sure about that?
Yeah.
Can you make my people understand that? So, okay, it's beautiful. Science students, they believe and the philosophy is that they are only particular about the chemistry, the balance of chemical equations and all that, biological stuff and all that. But really, it's a misconception. So I think you can use your platform also to sensitize people that science students can become great writers.
Definitely.
And you have break that chain at a very younger age. You do chemistry.
I'm doing physics.
You did physics, you did biology.
Yeah.
And you're an activist. You're a writer. Amazing. I love this. I love this. Okay, now HADDIJATOU, please. What, this activism have a great impact in the lives of people? We are from a fragile society, I would say. A very fragile society. People are resistant to change. That is a peril, it's a problem. So how do you intend to change the mindset of the young people that are conservative in the sense that they don't want to change? They feel like, I have to follow the chains of cultures, like the dogmatic cultures, even though it does not guarantee my rights. What responsibility do you have on those people, or what channel are you using to change the minds of these people who are conservative in society as an activist?
I think I like this question so much.
Okay.
So the best thing to do is to use my own people. Because I don't blame a lot of people who are conservative. I don't blame them. I don't blame them because, yes, that is it. But now, a lot of things that we're going to example, let me use the case of FGM. It's kind of sensitive.
That's fine.
A lot of people don't like to talk about it. But as an activist, you go straight to the point. Anything bad is bad. So, people who have been through that stage, they know how it is. They know how it is bad. So someone conservative, you said it's not bad, you want to go on with it. Why not we listen to people who are facing a lot of trauma through that, who are facing a lot of, who have been desperate when it comes to that thing because they've experienced it. A lot of people, the only way we can solve this question you ask is by using our people. What I mean is that people should come out and speak. The reason why people are nonchalant about this situation is because the ones suffering are not talking. Why are they not talking? Because they don't want to be blamed. That is the concept we should eradicate.
That is where the culture of silence is going to take place.
Exactly.
The culture of silence.
The people who are going through pain are now given the platforms to speak. It's not like they're going to be exposed, but let them speak. When they speak, people out there who are so nonchalant about this situation will learn. It's not easy, and it's very hard. Even if I don't go through that situation, I'll feel it when someone speaks. And a lot of people are going through it. But they don't want to speak, simply because the society is going to look at them in another way, simply because maybe they say the religion or somewhere else, something very sensitive. But we have to speak. In order to eradicate this, people need to come out and give out.
You think we can eradicate
they have the platform.
You think we can eradicate this, or we can mitigate it? You think it can be eradicated completely? Because eradication is a problem of itself. I think we can mitigate. What do you think?
We can mitigate.
Okay.
We can even eradicate.
Okay,
that is my point.
Okay.
We can get this out of everything when people are ready to do it. Okay. We're just not ready. It's just 50% fighting it and 50% supporting it.
Okay.
It cannot work.
Okay.
We need to come to terms. It's not something that is concrete. Anything that we have to argue about, it's not something concrete.
Okay.
Things that are concrete, we don't argue about them. We know they're good or we know they're bad. Let's come together and settle it. So issues like this should be settled easily. We have things that are way harder. Why are people really advocating for things and there is no change? Simply because the other people facing the problems are not ready to speak.
Amazing. This is an important point. It's very, very important. We are all young people from humble homes and backgrounds. Like I told you, cultures have a big role to play.
Exactly.
Traditions, norms, and values.
When it comes to activism, advocating, culture is one of the things that is retired in everything.
Okay, we
forget health and consider culture.
Well, I think here we will have a different point of view. Okay, you are an activist. You said you're an activist. We need to have equal rights. Those are your points. What is good for a man is good for a woman. That is the point.
At this point, there is nothing like equality when it comes to man and woman. We just have to know that there is equity. Because even God hates us like that.
Okay.
So anything that has to be good, it might not be good with you, it might be good with me.
Okay.
So it just has to deal with something that we need to settle through negotiation, communication, and it is key. Nothing should affect someone's health or someone's right. We should not tamper with anybody's right simply because we have the notion that the society is going to see it this way or that way. We can just come into terms and make sure nobody's right is being tampered with. And then
the culture of dogmatism, like we talked about that, how the culture of people being conservative to change. You said you have to come together, be on one board. It's a problem. You meet people in a like, okay, you came in a home, you made a culture since you are not born.
Like my teacher would say, when you get to Rome like the Romans do.
Exactly. So you made me an old man who spent most of his life, in a practical culture. You tell the old man, this is not good, let's follow human rights. I will come to that because like child rights is talking about the human rights, the rights of the people. There are some rights that you people are advocating for. Do you think they are fundamental in the basis of our development when it comes to our cultures, our societal norms and values? Do you believe all the principles in activism, child rights activism, is practically applicable and it is doable in society?
I believe
everything. Do you make scrutiny? How about
certainly?
HADDIJATOU, if any activism interferes with culture, what do you think can be done? What do you think you will take?
If activism interferes with culture?
Yes.
If it has to hinder something
it sometimes. Like it can touch each other sometimes. Right? Culture say this, activism say this. What is your standpoint?
Like, I think we can actually look at it at a broader stage.
Okay.
Like I said, anything that has to deal with arguments is not concrete.
It's not concrete.
We can just come together, see what happens, like see that something that is not in any way affecting someone's health or someone's right, and we go.
So anything that brought smashes somebody's health.
Yeah, somebody's right.
Whatever that interferes should be.
They're just dismantled.
Should be dismantled.
Yeah. This is why we do not even get to just old people or just religious people and be like, you should stop this, it is bad. We don't advocate like that. And that's not even civilized. The only way we can talk to these people, like you cannot be doing something for 100 years. It has not been affecting you. It's fine. And we just come and tell you it's bad. You cannot even get us. This is why I believe like activism or advocating has to deal with negotiation. You bring yourself down to people's level, talk to them. This is how we will all come into terms when it comes to activism. This is how we will all succeed our goals, achieve our objectives without affecting each other. So because it is a society we all belong in, this is how we've been doing it. But actually, it is not working for some people now due to certain reasons, and we are fighting it. So we need to come together and listen to one another. That is the only way we can succeed. These people, and that is the only way we can attain our objectives as activists.
Okay, how about educating people that are not aware of these problems because they feel like this again?
Like ways of educating people?
Yeah, like there are some people who are not aware of these principles of child rights. They don't know it is, like I told you, Gambia is big.
Yeah.
People say it's small, but to me it's big.
It is heterogeneous, so people know, some people don't.
Yeah, there are some people in the hamlets, in the other areas. They don't know the problems you're talking about.
That is why.
Are you people reaching to those people at the environment to tell them about the problems, about the concerns?
Yeah. My association actually, like Voice of the Young, has a lot of subgroups in those places, like this rural areas. So they're actually doing their work. Also, we have other advocacy teams that are so much into it. Like the remote areas, they're not just left like that. We're going there because like most of these things are affected them, in fact, because most of them are not aware of what is going on and how things are going. So a lot of the time, we don't just give them notes to read because most of them can't. We get to them, to their level, talk to them. This is how it can be. In fact, we speak local language sometimes.
Okay.
Sometimes also things are being dramatized. They can see. Like example, someone who faced a lot of things because his or her rights have been tampered with, maybe because of one thing or the other that we are fighting for. It can just be dramatized. People can see, they learn, they feel. So it's not something hard, it's just kind of critical and complex. Because some people don't want to eradicate that mentality they have when it comes to their culture or when it comes to things they believe in. So yeah, we bring ourselves
our cultures, right?
Yeah, our culture.
Okay, Hadijatu, now, like you are interested. I like, the essence of this program is to inspire people that are looking at us. There are people who today who want to be like HADDIJATOU JOBE, a writer, an activist, right? There is just two words I always tend to have some like confused, like it baffles me. People call themselves advocates and they call themselves activists, an activist. Now, what is more rampant is activism. I'm an activist. Okay, it's very good. I'm a youth activist.
Yeah, but there is a difference.
There's a difference.
Yeah, there is also similarities they have.
Yeah.
Actually, talk about activism. Active. What is activity?
Activity.
Yes.
Okay.
Advocacy. Advocate. You advocate for something. Like advocate. You do the thing. Like this is like about gender-based violence. So we are going to advocate for it. We're going to talk to the people like about it. More about it. That is the advocate thing. You activism, you put things into practical.
So activism is consistent.
Yeah,
in
you
a sense.
do it.
It's like,
Once you are an activist, you fight for things. Like I am an advocate. Maybe I am into child rights, climate change,
okay,
women's rights. But I am an activist. Into something.
Like an activism, like some carry out for itself.
You go with it. I can be an advocate, but I'm specific already. I'm into child issues. I'm fighting child marriage, everything that has to do with child.
You are actively on child rights.
So someone else is working on climate change because this one is saying that something is very wrong.
Climate change.
Yeah,
advocate.
Someone is advocating for climate change. Someone is advocating for women's rights. Someone is advocating for something else.
Would I be right to say, from the basis I am just analyzing, because you are very intelligent. I didn't even give you these questions. You were very amazing. Can I say advocacy is more in for people? Okay, like it's not consistent. Like okay, climate change, human rights activist is different. Okay, climate change is like it's man-made. But I'm going to say, like, for advocates, their aims is to mitigate.
Yeah.
And activists, their aims is to eradicate. Will that be okay?
Yeah, it is one of it.
Okay, and an advocate, they want to mitigate because climate change
cannot just go like that.
But activists, you want to
generalize.
Want to make people aware. You want to sensitize.
Aware. You do. Like I said, it is an activity. You put things in practical. You are active. You are an activist. Everybody should know you for that. You go in for it. You work for it. You fight for it. Everything. So you're more into the things. So as an advocate, we might have an issue like something that is trending, and you want to advocate for it. You just come together and advocate for that one thing.
Amazing. Komma is amazing. I'm learning a lot, I think this is the beauty.
I'm trying. I'm just trying. Someone else can have something way more than
that is how it should be. Your perceptions must not cannot be the same with other people's perception. Maybe right now you say something here which is not even favorable to somebody who's looking at you. But I don't agree with her. It's okay. You can agree with her. It's okay. That's why I say that my point. This is my point. So you also have your own point. So beautiful. Writing is a beautiful arena. Now it's taking you to the worldwide stage. I will not talk about your business because I know you're very good. You're very good in the arena of entrepreneurship too.
Oh.
So that is like
and you have to be productive as a woman. So this is it. You cannot just be at one stage. This is how we've seen our role models starting up. So we were inspired to actually take up the lane.
So what do you want to be in future?
Why?
That coxswain. We want to know, because there are young people who want to be like you. So they want to know what my mentor want to be in the future.
Actually, once I find myself in this field of science, I want to, prosper in it. I might like to go in for medicine. I might like to go in for engineering. But this issue of advocacy and activism, writing, it's my passion.
It's a passion.
Yeah. Anywhere I find myself, I can advocate for it. As a doctor, I can still advocate for child's rights.
Of course.
Yeah, I can still be a writer. You see, as an engineer, I can still advocate for certain things.
But you name very three complex, studies here: medicine, engineering. Specifically, what are you talking about?
Because I took the lane and then I studied science. So I can find myself anywhere in this field. I can also find myself in the human rights, resources, but it's fine. For now, I want to focus on my sciences. And
when we were young,
I can see
when we were young, what was your aspiration? When we were young, what do you want? What do you always say? Mom, I want to be this.
I want to be a president's wife. Because we don't settle for less here.
This history is recording. It's very, very possible.
Yeah, then I used to be Obama's wife. I used to be this president's wife. Any president that is there, I want to be your wife.
Okay, do you want to be a president? You don't want to be?
No, I don't want to.
Amazing.
Be
Okay, Hadijatu, this is getting.
But I might want to be a president's wife. Who knows?
It's possible. Like I told you, history is recording. Posterity will judge. Amazing. Now we at least we have gone so much far in the arena of literature and in the arena of activism. We talk about society. How do society perceive people like you right now? How are you facing? What challenges are you really handling? An activist as a writer in society?
Yeah, when it comes to the writing aspect of it, everything is fine. I might not have a lot of challenges facing the society, but advocating for, this advocating thing, like...
What challenges do you face in that?
I cannot say I have, we have a lot of challenges.
But now let's personalize.
Okay, then my personal challenges.
Okay.
Well, imagine getting to a society, they believe in something, and you want to come it's not good. You want to tell them that it's not good. How do you think they're going to see you? Like this child is pompous.
Trying to throw.
He knows everything. We are the elders, but she still want to eradicate some of the things we're doing. So this is how the society sees you. And that might not even be the case. You are there to advocate. You are there to bring them to the new world, to bring them to the right path. But they're not really ready for it. So they obviously call you pompous. They obviously make you go through a lot of challenges that you don't really intend for. This is something you're bringing on board to change the narratives. But no, they're seeing you as someone who's not respectful sometimes. Depends on the type of societies we approach. But personally, I think the easiest societies to deal with are the ones that are ready to listen. It's like I said, we come together, bring everything on the table and settle it. Then I will not have to face any challenge as a child who's trying to advocate. Like I said, ex-child, I'm now a big girl now.
You're a big girl now?
Yeah.
How old are you?
18.
18 is a big girl. Okay, like these are problems. Society criticizes people, Hadijatu, criticize.
In fact, people who are on the right lane, they really criticize you. So criticisms should be part of the things. Once you want to be successful, criticisms will not be things that bother you, because people will like to talk about you, people will like to discourage, they will do everything. But you are someone who's ready to be there, just focus.
Wow, just
criticisms
focus.
will not just be, because I can remember, after publishing my books, people were like, this is not good, what is this? It's not making any sense to them. That is criticism.
That is to kill
if I had to listen to them at first, I was not going too far to publish another book. But then I believe criticism is just part of it. It's just something that we should adapt to and move on with it.
Like one philosopher said, if you have an enemy, then it means you have stood up for something.
Thank you.
Something.
So if nobody is criticizing you, my dear, you're doing absolutely nothing. People should criticize you so that you can determine your way. Like, that yes, I'm going. This is why they're getting into this and they're knowing what I'm up to. So criticism should be part of it. It should not be something that really distracts or bother you.
So in the arena of literature and in the arena of advocacy, you talk about now activism challenges. How about literature? What was the challenges? Getting on the night, writing, trying to put up ideas. Sometimes you get stuck.
I was expecting this question earlier though, but I didn't get it.
Right. Then you go, no question of skips here, So
okay.
let's. What really was the action? How were you really coping? Writing is a difficulty. Please make us understand.
Yeah, it's fine to get stuck once you get in there on the process of writing. But I think getting stuck is the easiest thing. You can just get to somewhere else and you move on. But then, actually, it is way harder in this country when it comes to literature. Because Gambians, they have this mentality, like they don't read. Gambians don't read. Especially like people who find it hard to read their own notes, they won't get to read novels. Like we have a lot of people who are not interested in reading stories or reading poems or whatsoever. So we, the writers, Most of the time, that is where our major challenge comes in. That is to market our books. Because people might not be even interested to buy your books. So that is one of the key challenges that I would advise everybody who want to get into the writing field. If it is not your hobby or your passion, you don't have to bother, because at the end of the day, you're just doing it to educate the society, not to get anything out of it, because people might not support. So yeah, that is at first. But once you are there, people want to know more about what you're up to, so they'll get to read your books. But at first stage, it is one of the most critical challenges. And it's very hard to find support in this country. Like, people don't support writers. That is how I'm gonna say it.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, they can support artists, they can support...
No, they don't just say they support people who are there.
Exactly, but even writers who are there, they hardly find support. You support yourself first. Then they want to get there and support you because you're already there. That is the main key. But the writing aspect of it, like, there is less support. In fact, we have a lot of opportunities in the writing field, but you can only get it when you are there. Maybe publish 1 or 2 to 3 copies, then you are there. So at first, this is why a lot of people are discouraged at first stage. They publish one, they find it hard to market, they find it hard to get to people. They are no more doing it. But that is not the point, you know. We don't give up just like that. We go in for it when we have
the problem of this country is not, we have our aptitude that we have to reform. I always believe that people are the cause of this, but we need stakeholders, those who are there to help young people. There should be budget allocated for literature.
I think that is a point.
There should be budget allocated for literature. In any country that is considered to be developed, there should be a budget allocated for literature. So if you're watching this beautiful program, I am a writer trying to be a writer, she's a good writer. Our problem is we don't have support in this country.
You see, now you're coming into point.
If young people want to publish their work, they find it difficult. Very, very difficult to publish their work. Writing, like, it's more difficult than publishing. You spend years writing a book, then you hardly get a support. Somebody will even give you, okay, 10,000, take a hall, do this. I think the government needs to help young people. Every year, those engaged in literature should be able to have something productive in their endeavors. So we are not only asking help from the government, private sectors, any entity who want to help young people, help them. But literature should have a budget.
Definitely.
It's not been allocated right now. So this is just a claim from young writers here, and of course, an activist. Do you have the same message for the government, for the private sector?
Definitely, we need a budget. We have a lot of people who want to speak. We have a lot of people who want to, come on board and publish. But because there's less support, in fact, someone who is writing will discourage you. Like, I've been writing, but I've not been, this is not the stage where I excel. Like, you can just give up because it's not fine. It's not really fine to give up, but these are the things people face because they've been advised that there is no support or there is no mode of encouragement when it comes to this path, so you don't really need to venture into it. So personally, I did this because I have the passion, and now it is leading me to somewhere else, despite the fact that there was no support at the beginning. But I find it very hard to get here, and I believe it is supposed to be hard, but I think once the government is into it that much, we'll find it better and it will be more productive. The team of writing will be productive, and then we'll get to the society more. And this is the way we can actually advocate for a lot of things that are going on in the society. Because I write to advocate for this particular thing, someone else will write to talk about something else, and then we move on.
Beautiful. We have really come to the end tail of this beautiful program. But then I will ask maybe 2 questions before we go. What advice do you have for young people? You are a writer, you are an activist. You publish your work at a very younger age. So people are looking at you today. What advice do you have for young people?
All right. Thank you so much for this question. Actually, any program I attend, I'll be asked this question, what advice do I have? And I always say the same thing. You asked a question earlier. Once you're on this path, criticisms will be the last thing you consider. Yeah. On whatsoever platform you find yourself, whatsoever career you find yourself, make sure that criticisms are the last thing. What people have to say does not concern you. You just move on with your motive, so long as you're on the right path. Make sure you get to this, what you want, and do not just give up. Don't settle for less. Just make sure you get into it. Writing has not been easy. Being an advocate has not been easy. But then, we're here now. because we struggle for it. We go in for it because we wanted to reach the stage or even a far place. So yes, make sure you focus on whatsoever you're going on. That is also another advice I have. Just be focusing on things you want to go into. Do research, learning does not just stop at one end. People learn with different strategies. So you are someone who wants to excel into this field, go in for it, focus on it, decide on it, and do not just be discouraged by someone outside. They might not be interested in writing, but you are. Go on with it. They might not be interested in maybe advocating. Go in for it. They might not be interested in business, but you are. Just go in for it. People are successful in different ways. Some are into this, some are into that. So we cannot all be centered into one thing. Because you advise me not to go in for it and go in for this, does not mean I'll excel in it. I can only excel in something that I like. Like if I didn't like writing, I wasn't gonna reach here. Because there is no way, no corner I'm getting support from. Like I was getting support from at the beginning. But then because I stayed in it, I liked it, that's why. And now everything is within me. Yeah, this is something that I would like everybody to listen to. Just focus on what you want. Yeah, Allah will help.
I'm inspired. Focus on what you want. Don't get stuck. Pursue your dreams. If you want to be an advocate, go for it. If you want to be an entrepreneur, go for it. Whatever you want to be, your biggest limitation is your mindset. Get to the tool. Be there, and of course, you will get it done. That is an amazing epilogue of this beautiful program. I thank you so very much for honoring this invitation. It's a pleasure having such a fastidious young lady in our midst. Please, thank you so much for watching us, and see you some other time.
OGF Online TV. Support our own Gambian Foundation. Support our own Gambian Foundation. This is the first of its kind. Support our own Gambian Foundation is standing on 4 important philosophies. That is to empower, to motivate, to inspire, and of course, to uplift the younger generation of the Gambian society.